Now, we all want to be gentle parents, but somewhere along the line, you've dropped the ball and now you're dealing with your child's challenging behaviors. I'm Alexandra Lilly, brain development coach, and this is Donna Palmer, child development coach.
In this video, we are going to give you 2 valid reasons why this parenting style is not working for you and 3 steps to start your new parenting journey.
But before we get started, if you haven't subscribed yet, why don't you click the subscribe button and that bell so that you are notified every time we release a new video on how to handle your child's challenging behaviors. Over the years in my parenting journey, I have tried so many different parenting styles, but my child's challenging behavior, it always seemed to get in the way.
I have coached hundreds of parents through this journey in transforming their child's challenging behavior so that they can get to the place where they can adopt a parenting style that is right for them.
All right, so let's talk about the 2 reasons why gentle parenting isn't working for you. Reason number 1, you are parenting the child you dreamed of, not the child that you have. And that was me, and I can attest to that. All right, so let's use a real life example. Let's use myself and my children. I have a 16-year-old and a 10-year-old. And when my 10-year-old was about maybe let's say 2 or 3, and for example, he wanted a cookie before dinner. Now I know he probably shouldn't have a cookie before dinner. And if I was to say no, and he would whine a little bit, I would give in and give him the cookie. Now, as he started to grow up, I started to continue doing this. So I would give in even though I would say no at first, because then I didn't want him whining. I didn't want him having a temper tantrum. And I thought if he has a temper tantrum, well, he is only 2 or 3 years old, so he has a hard time managing his emotions. So this is just part of being a toddler. However, we are now 10 years old. And now I have a 10-year-old who is now constantly arguing when I tell him he can't have something. And he's being disrespectful and he's being rude. So now I find myself with a child with extreme challenging behaviors. And then I started working with Donna, and I finally realized that I was parenting the child I had dreamed of, the child that was in my mind, the child that I grew up thinking I wanted. And I wasn't parenting the child that I have. I thought, if I was going down to his high level and I was being attentive and I was being understanding and we're building a relationship, that I was doing all the right things. But what I didn't realize is as these behaviors evolved, I was not attending to specific inappropriate behaviors, and I was just letting them slide, and I wasn't redirecting them or fixing them.
We just talked about reason number 1 being parent the child that you have and not the child that you dreamed of having. Now, reason number 2, there is a gap between your original parenting style and the one that you have now adopted. Let's talk about the gap. When you started your parenting journey, maybe you were pregnant or you just had the baby, you have an idea as to what type of parent you want to be. And that is a combination of how you were raised, the books you might have read, the people who might have influenced you in some way or the other. And you've decided of the type of parent you would like to be. Now, some 2 years, 5 years, 10 years later, you stumble upon the gentle parenting style. And you decided that I really like this parenting style. I would like to be a gentle parent. And you have decided to adopt the gentle parenting style. Now, what happened to the gap? The gap remains. Yes, you've adopted a new parenting style, but there is still that gap between your original parenting style and the new parenting style. Over the years, 2, 5, 10, however many years it has been, like Alexandra talked about in her parenting journey, there has been situations where there has been behaviors that has been coming up. And you know what? you weren't paying attention, or you didn't know it was inappropriate behavior, and your kids were really small and you didn't think it was a necessity to address some things, and you just let some things go. And over time, the behaviors evolved. And even you, the way you react towards those behaviors might have evolved also. And you have come to a place where you are now faced with some very challenging behaviors.
All right, let us know that we're not alone in this. Share some of the behaviors that you have let slide that have now turned into challenging behaviors. Drop us a comment below.
Let's get you on your way with the 3 steps to your new parenting journey. Step number 1, change your mindset. Accept the child that you have. Acknowledge the behaviors for what they are. These behaviors are challenging behaviors, and we've talked about letting these behaviors slide. It is time for you to call those behaviors out for what it is. If your little Johnny habitually lies, then every time Johnny tells a lie, you need to call it out for what it is. You need to let Johnny know, Johnny, you are telling a lie right now. Then Johnny knows that you know he's telling a lie. You are making it clear to him that you know he's telling a lie. It's out in the open, and you can address the behavior in the right way to get that behavior to be transformed.
Step number 2, you want to access a plan that is specific to you and your child's needs. So you want to connect with someone that can fill in those gaps and transform those challenging behaviors.
Step number 3, execute the plan. It's going to take commitment and dedication, but consistency is the key to executing the plan. Now remember, transformation does not happen overnight. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, it's going to take work. But if you do the work, you will get the results. No pain, no gain.
So now that you know why gentle parenting isn't working for you and you need to fill in those gaps, we would love to help you. You can connect with us at admin@parentingbeyondbehaviors.com.
Be sure to check out our next video where we are going to take a close look at what Janet Lansbury has to say about parenting.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.